Hey, what is going on, fellow players? My name is FlipShine, aka The Average Player, and what I have for you guys today is some dragon tickling footage. That's right, the new DLC from Battlefield 4 is here. It's been out for about a week for all premium members, and I'm sure you guys are tired, as I am, of hearing about everyone's first opinions about this new DLC. So rather than telling you guys my personal opinion about Dragon's Teeth, I thought this might be a great opportunity for me to tell you guys another personal story, as the last time I did one of these, you guys seemed to rather enjoy it. So sit down, squirt a little more butter on that popcorn, and please don't touch the keyboard or smartphone before wiping your hands first. Our story begins roughly 1 year ago, where my girlfriend at the time had been bugging me almost non-stop about the Hotter in Hell competition that she wanted to participate in, which is an event that's held annually in none other than Wichita Falls, Texas. The event is primarily for cyclists, with anything from mountain climbing to the pinnacle event of the entire weekend, the Hotter in Hell 100-mile bike ride in the middle of the Texas desert. Now, my girlfriend was super stoked about this event and went ahead and signed herself up after I told her that I did not want to participate in this. Little did she know that I had a few tricks up my sleeve, and after several weeks of training for the event, we both drove up to Wichita Falls, Texas, where I surprised her at the registration booth when I picked up my own packet for the event. At that point, there was no going back. There was only 100 miles between the two of us and 2 medals of completion for the Hotter in Hell 100. Now, for those of you that don't know, I was a competition athlete for 15 years, but I had never done anything that required the amount of endurance that this Hotter in Hell 100 was going to take. And I thought that the training that I had done for the event would have been sufficient. I could not have been any more wrong, and the old saying, pride comes before fall, could not have been any truer. On the morning of August 24th, 2013, myself, my girlfriend, and 12,500 other participants took off on what would be one of the most grueling exercise routines I had ever participated in. For the most part, things were going pretty well for both myself and my girlfriend, other than a few hiccups here and there, with me breaking a spoke on one of my wheels and having a couple of other technical difficulties along the way. But thankfully, they had rest stops every 10 miles or so, with food, medical accommodations, as well as bike repairs. Without a doubt, the most challenging part of the entire event was reaching Hell's Gate, which is the cutoff point at about 63 miles that you have to reach. Otherwise, you are given a shorter route in order to make sure that everybody finishes the event. My girlfriend and I passed through Hell's Gate with about 15 minutes to spare before they closed it off. At that point, we were both extremely exhausted, and even though I didn't know it at the time, I was suffering from fairly extreme dehydration, which would ultimately lead me to not actually finish the event. After a quick rest, my girlfriend and I continued on in what would be the worst part of the entire race, the 13-mile gap between Hell's Gate and the next rest stop in the hottest part of the day, which reached roughly 104 degrees Fahrenheit. By the time we reached the next rest stop, I felt horrible and didn't feel like I would be able to continue on any farther. And after being seen by a few medical associates, they confirmed that I was extremely dehydrated and advised me to stop right then and there. Now, I may be a lot of things, but a quitter is not one of them. And honestly, I wanted more than anything to finish the race at that moment, but I could barely walk and my entire body felt like it was about to implode. My sweet and caring girlfriend was willing to quit with me, but knowing just how important that event was to her, I officially gave up my man card and told her to continue onwards and finish the race. Probably the funniest thing about the whole event was when I finally got back to the starting line and the medical associates attended to me farther and couldn't decide whether or not my case was serious enough to give me an IV. Long story short, I didn't get an IV. But several hours later, I was there to cheer on my girlfriend as she crossed the finish line and completed the Hotter Than Hell 100. But that was pretty much it. I hope that this story has inspired you that if you ever find yourself in a position of great opposition, that you first and foremost be better prepared than I was. Secondly, that you're not afraid to be humble, because pride comes before fall. And last but not least, be sure to drink tons and tons of water. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Cheers.